To be able to conceptualize and bring it from a sketch to a perspective to reality is an idea that comes to you listening to the narrative of a client. While I've been doing architecture, I've also been doing art on the side. And it's a whole different process because with architecture, you're always looking outside for inspiration. Religion says there's no good and no bad. Everybody's equal. Everyone has yin and yang. There's good and bad. There's good in all of us, there's bad in all of us. But at the end, religion judges you. It says you're good, go to heaven. You're bad, go to hell. Today I wanted to talk about architecture through a sense of conceptualization. But it all comes out from intuition and from reasoning, whatever we put out there. Now the idea is, how do we get this intuition and reasoning onto a paper? The most vibrant tool we have with us is sketching. So I just wanted to run you through a video before I get to actually talking about that. This is a home we created for a family where they came to us and they had an idea in the head of the kind of home they wanted. And in this beautiful town, which is on the base of the hills of Darjeeling, we created this home. And the video shows a little about the process of how we got here. To be able to conceptualize and bring it from a sketch to a perspective to reality is an idea that comes to you listening to the narrative of a client. Now, how do you get this intuition? It's according to me, it's an instant stimuli to a narrative. The client tells you something, and the first intuition, it may not be right, but it's the first starting point of design. Now, we're doing this tower in Kolkata, and the client, it's on the old Park Street, and the client came to us and told us he wants a 12-story tower, and he said, I want a modern structure. And we sat down with him, I put him in a car, I took him around Kolkata and showed him these buildings. In the middle of Park Street, he wanted to create a modern building, and I tried to reason with him, and we won. And if you see, we showed him the details, we made the sketches, and then we got down to the perspective. The idea is a client comes to you with a preconceived notion. It's like you going to a doctor and telling him how to operate. So when you have to educate the client, and the tool to do so is the first process is sketching. This is a Japanese restaurant we're doing in Bombay, and it's a very square building, and we kind of pulled it apart and twisted and turned it. And this is a project which is in the process of what's happening. There's a process on the internet which is called body storm. It's a process, and a lot about it is on the internet. It's a process in design thinking where you are immersed in the space to mimic the environment. You build and you design. To be able to create that on a paper instantaneously, to put down an emotion on a sketch, that is humanizing the process. Whether we use AI or any of the new tools, we should do the hard, beautiful work of first humanizing the process. AI is eventually going to take over. We should put up a small fight and leave our mark on everything for as long as possible. And I think this is one of the ways to do it. Can we switch to the next presentation? Now, in the past few months, the past few years, while I've been doing architecture, I've also been doing art on the side. And it's a whole different process, because with architecture, you're always looking outside for inspiration. You're looking at materials, bylaws, budgets, client needs. But then it comes to art. When it comes to art, it's a different process. You're looking within. Art is spiritual. Art is a story you're telling about what's within you. And I've been painting, I don't know. It's the process of abstraction. I was in New York in MoMA, where I did this course. And it's a whole different process. The reason I'm trying to bring this out is, if we can use a little bit of this, if we can use a little bit of this process of looking within while designing for others, that's when I think we will leave our mark on design. That's Gerard Richter, this is Picasso, that's John Miro, Rothko, David de Kooning, Pollock, which all my contemporaries and seniors have been talking about. These artists, they took an idea. They took an idea and created their own version of that idea too. I believe that art is spiritual and it's a storytelling. So when a client is telling you a story, to be able to step out of that story and leave your emotion and leave your mark is very important. You should be recognizable. This is a few of the art that I've been dabbling in. These are sketches, which are study sketches, like how we sketch and create buildings. And so when I'm traveling, when I'm on flights, when I'm going to sites, these are sketches. And these sketches then manifest themselves from that side. So I've got a comparison. That was a sketch, and this is a complete painting, and same here. What I'm trying to say is the power of art, and especially abstract art, is its ability to capture and express that which exists beyond words. My hope is that a creative practice like all of us is rooted and compelled by such subjectiveness and can inspire a broader inspiration for the kind of work and mark we leave behind. I'd like to explain this one painting before I leave. It's called Damnation. Religion says there's no good and no bad. Everybody's equal. Everyone has yin and yang. There's good and bad. There's good in all of us. There's bad in all of us. But at the end, religion judges you. It says you're good, go to heaven. You're bad, go to hell. And that's why I call this damnation. So you're leaving and you're telling a story about yourself in your art. And that's what you should be doing in your architecture. These are a few of my paintings. That's Conscience, one of my favorites. I've given Conscience on the left-hand side, where on a daily basis you're fighting with your conscience while the world looks on. Grunt, that's Red Room. And that's me saying, thank you.